Okay. So last class we were on verse number 49. So let us first read that verse and then we will proceed further. Verse number 49. Durena hyavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvichha kripana phalahetavaha. So here we saw Krishna explains that any action done with a desire for results is a very inferior action. When you do it with proper attitude, it becomes karma yoga. So Krishna tells Arjuna, resort to karma yoga, seek refuge in karma yoga. Those who do action only for the sake of results are misers, because a miser doesn't spend. Similarly, we don't use the mind. The mind is meant for better things, but we are so much caught in our materialistic results that we don't use the mind for which it is meant for. That is to grow internally, because there are two types of growth. One is the external growth, materialistic growth, which all of us strive for, there's no doubt. But along with that, we should also grow internally. It is not that you set a particular age, up to that I will grow materialistically, then I will grow internally. They can go side by side, and slowly you come off the materialistic goals and orient completely towards the inner growth. So Krishna is explaining about the benefits of karma yoga. Now let us move on to the next verse, verse number 50. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrite tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Now this verse and the next one also, Krishna is going to explain the benefits of karma yoga. So having told Arjuna about what is karma yoga, the next is because for anything, unless we know what benefits we are going to get, we will not do any action. So in this case, the result of this is important. Though we are not worried about the results of other actions which bring material benefits, here there is nothing wrong in desiring this result, because this result is the ultimate result we are looking for. So here Krishna says, one who is endowed with the sameness of mind, that is, his mind is always relaxed, it doesn't get disturbed either through success or failure. Both of them he treats equally. He gives up both punya and papa. Here in this world itself, he gives up both. And therefore, commit yourself to karma yoga, because karma yoga is discretion in action. So now let us understand this a little more deeply. So the immediate benefits of karma yoga are you have a stress-free mind. So the more you practice karma yoga, you will find that your mind is always relaxed. So it also helps to improve relationships. So when you are completely relaxed, your relationship with the others also becomes easy, because anything which is, when you handle with in a very relaxed manner, others also fall in line. So they also understand how, if you treat them in a particular way, they also respond in a similar way. So relationships also improve by practicing karma yoga. So this is the direct benefit, immediate benefit, which is perceivable. But we are looking for something beyond that. Yes, definitely this is required first. A stress-free mind is the first goal, but that is not the ultimate goal, because without this, proceeding further also will be difficult. So he says skill. So how do you give up punya and papa? Punya and papa, whatever action we do, whether we like it or not, the results will accrue. It is how you treat those results that matters, because action has to produce a result. You cannot say, I don't want results, I will do my action, I don't want results. It cannot happen, because naturally any action will produce a result. If you are bound by the results, then you are definitely going to become either elated or depressed, leading to a very disturbed mind. You accept the results, you are not very much bothered about the result. Let it come. So even a karma yogi, the results will keep on accruing, and depending on that, a good action will produce punya, and any action which is not so good will definitely produce papa. So even for a karma yogi, there will be lot of things which knowingly, unknowingly he may commit, which may incur papa also. But gradually, as one goes deeper, the attitude keeps becoming stronger. The more one gets devoted to karma yoga, you will find that the papa accumulation also comes down naturally, because all your deeds are positive. So definitely the negative part will slowly decrease. But again, even the punya you have to spend. So what does it lead to? If you continue as a karma yogi and at some point somebody passes away, but the karma yoga, through karma yoga, whatever punya and papa is accumulated will again result in a further birth. So the cycle goes on. So again, to spend that punya also you have to come back. Again you go through another cycle. Again in that particular life also you may accumulate further. So this cycle keeps on repeating. So now, having prepared the mind, the obvious step next is to get rid of all the punya and papa. Now how does one do that? Through knowledge. So once the mind is prepared, then jnana yoga is the next step. In the next verse, Krishna is again going to give the stepwise progress of a karma yogi. So jnana yoga is the next step. Through jnana yoga, once you become a jnani, or you gain that knowledge, automatically your punya and papa both will drop off. So that is the benefit of karma yoga. But karma yoga is not directly going to give you that final goal. It will not take you to the final goal directly. But without this, to proceed towards the final goal also will not happen at all. So karma yoga is a very, you can say, the first step towards the ultimate goal. Now he talks about skill in action. What is the skill that, so in fact in this verse he says, yogas yujasva yoga yoga karmasu kaushalam, skill in action. Now normally in any action, over a period of time with practice, people develop skill. Will that lead to liberation? Even a pickpocket develops a great skill because he is able to pick your pocket without you knowing at all. So that also calls for great skill. So you can say, oh, he has developed the skill, so he should also become a karma yogi. Or in any field, even if you see how you go to a coffee or a tea shop, when they they do this, it requires a lot of skill for the tea to flow between these two containers without spilling. So the higher it takes, the more skill is required for it to. So all these are skills which are there, but these skills are not going to take you to the ultimate goal. These skills will only help you to survive in this world, make you a little more efficient in your area. So the skill he is talking about is the skill to convert the action to karma yoga. Any action, how do you convert the same action? Everybody is doing the same action, but you should have the skill to convert this action to karma yoga. How do you do that? It can only be through proper understanding. So that's why the earlier verse number 47 we had understood, karmanye va adhikaraste. You have full control over your action, but ma phaleshu kadachana. So the more you are aware that you have the free will to perform any action, it puts more responsibility on you. So this is what we need to understand. So what is this skill? The skill is converting this binding karmas, the karmas which bind you further and further to materialistic things, to liberating karma, the karma which will liberate you from the cycle of birth and death, which is the ultimate goal. So the skill here, kaushala is nothing but the capacity to interpret correctly and proper interpretation of dharma. So we all know dharma and adharma. So dharma is not a dharma changes with time, place, situation. What is dharma now may become adharma later. So understanding what is dharma and adharma and performing the actions suitably is the skill that is required. So everybody understands dharma and adharma. They say somebody asked Duryodhana, you know whatever you are doing is adharma. Don't you know whatever you are doing is adharma? So Duryodhana, it seems, told that person, yes, I know what is adharma, but I know what is the difference between dharma and adharma, but unfortunately, that is my nature. I am not able to do the right action because my nature is such. So all of us know. It is not that all the people who do wrong, none of them can say, I didn't know this is wrong. We see how the politicians, they cheat people. It doesn't, everybody knows. They themselves know that whatever they are doing is wrong, but they still continue to do it. So, interpreting what is dharma and adharma is, and doing what is to be done at each moment is that skill. How do you interpret dharma? So, that is that kaushala. So, doing the right action at the right time and orienting the actions towards the ultimate goal of gaining moksha is the skill that Krishna talks about here. So that's why he says, Arjuna, commit yourself to karma yoga, rid of all your papa and punya in this life itself by from karma yoga proceeding to jnana yoga. So as you proceed, you will drop off all the once you gain knowledge, the papa and the punya both get dropped off, because it is important. It's not just, okay, I don't do anything wrong, I'm not accumulating any papa, so I will I will attain the goal. It is not possible, because your punya also has to be exhausted. Even if you have only punya in your account, even that has to be exhausted for you to attain the goal. So if you do it here and now, you don't have to come back and go through the cycle again. So the more karma yoga, the mind gets more and more purified. Automatically such a person will strive towards knowledge. So he will have the urge to, because the more the karma yogi practices, he will find that the mind is always stress free, he is very relaxed. But definitely there will be a lot of external factors which will disturb. Though however much we try, we cannot be completely aloof, we cannot be completely insulated from some factors which will definitely disturb. So the karma yogi will always have this urge to have a situation where nothing disturbs him. So that urge will lead him to the next stage, gaining knowledge and then gaining liberation. So this is the benefit of karma yoga. The more you practice karma yoga, you will automatically lead to jnana yoga and thereby gain liberation, which Krishna is going to talk in the next verse about the stages of a karma yogi. What stages the karma yogi goes through before attaining the ultimate goal. So let us now read verse number 51. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantya namayam. So in this verse, Krishna says, A wise person having the attitude of Karma Yoga, having given up the results of action, that is Punya and Papa, both having given up both, free from the bondage of birth. So he is no longer shackled, he gets free from the cycle of birth and death. So he will gain a stage where he is freed from everything. So that is the ultimate effect of Karma Yoga. Now, the first stage of going through this goal is to first, now before we go on to that, that day somebody asked, what is this internal growth? So let us now just revise our earlier lessons when we started off with the goal of life, and then in Tattva Bodha, what are the qualifications required for attaining this knowledge. So let us rewind, because it's very important to understand the goal, because all this makes sense when our goal is clear. So any action we do, only if the goal is clear, the action will be oriented towards that. Otherwise, if we keep on doing something without any goal, we are not heading anywhere. So the first step is to have goal clarity. So as we understood earlier, in our Shastras, there is a four-pronged goal, or Purushartha as we call it, prescribed. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. So these are the four-pronged goals. It is not that they come one after another. They are all simultaneously happening. Among these, Artha and Kama, they are common to all beings. So basically, Artha means security, Kama is pleasure. So these two are common to all beings. The other two goals actually separate other beings from human beings. Dharma and Moksha. So only when you have these four goals, you are a human being. Otherwise, if being in a human form, if we follow only Artha and Kama, there is no difference between us and other beings, animals or whichever beings, because they are also following same security and pleasure. So our entire life is revolving around security and pleasure. It is not that these two are not required. That is why it is prescribed. If it is not prescribed, then if it is not required, then the Shastras would not have prescribed these two. So definitely these two are important, and initially they take more of our mental and physical requirements. So Artha and Kama are common. So for a human being, Dharma and Moksha. So only a human being knows what is Dharma, what is right, what is wrong, what should be done at a particular time, what should not be done. So human being has this faculty of understanding, which animals don't have. So that is why animals don't have any goal. A cow or a dog or a horse, if you ask them what is your goal in life, for them it's only eating or whatever activity they are made to do, they will do that. They are trained to do, they will do that. And one day they will just drop off. Once that if we understand the nature, how each being lives, each being has got a particular lifespan. Like a dog lives for say 10 to 15 years, a cow has got a particular lifespan. Once that is over, they automatically drop off. Only a human being, we have a goal, because we understand what is, so all our actions are determined by dharma. So artha and kama you do with dharma in mind, but ultimately all this leads to moksha, which is freedom. So basically, in all our actions, we are actually seeking freedom, which we are not aware. So if we really think about it, security and pleasure is what we are seeking. If we look at it, we seem to be seeking these two, but actually what we are seeking is freedom from insecurity and displeasure or unhappiness. So basically, our search is only for freedom from insecurity. Outwardly, we may say we are looking at security. Now that security cannot be defined, what is secure? So you actually are seeking freedom from insecurity. You want a situation where you are not worried about seeking security. Similarly, happiness. So you are basically seeking freedom from unhappiness. So without us knowing, we are actually seeking freedom from security. The very thing which we are trying to accumulate, we are actually seeking freedom from unhappiness and insecurity. So this is first, our goal should be very clear, because without understanding this goal, the whole process of understanding what is prescribed in the Bhagavad Gita will become futile. So first, the goal is fixed. So first we have freedom in mind, moksha, that is the ultimate goal. Then we work towards that. Now how do I attain that? So that is why karma yoga is prescribed, which is the first step. Even in our rituals, everything, artha, kama are also equally important. Importance is given. For example, in Navaratri, 9 days, the first 3 days are for Ma Durga. Durga stands for Shakti, energy, strength. So we seek physical well-being. To take care of our body, we pray to Goddess Durga. So the first 3 days, so because the body is very important, we should not neglect the body, because only when you have a body, you will be able to attain what you want in this life. So if you are always sick, your mind will be only about the body. So taking care of the body is equally important. So that is why the first 3 days we pray to Ma Durga. The next 3 days, Goddess Lakshmi, because Lakshmi is also very important. So in terms of security, so we need wealth, prosperity, everything is also important. So the 3 following days are meant for Lakshmi. And the last 3 days are for Ma Saraswati, because she stands for knowledge. So ultimately, you have physical well-being, then you have materialistic well-being, and ultimately with these two you gain knowledge. So if you are not physically okay and if you are in poverty, definitely your mind will not be ready for the ultimate goal. You will not be prepared for knowledge. And knowledge here means worldly knowledge as well as spiritual knowledge, because we need worldly knowledge also to survive in this world. So all the education that we go through, everything is to ensure that we have a good life. We should have the comforts which are required. So definitely these are also equally important. But ultimately we should slowly move away from the dependence on artha and kama and focus more on dharma and moksha. So this is what is a karma yogi. Shifting of the focus on artha and kama to dharma and moksha. It is not that you give up artha and kama. You slowly make dharma and moksha more important than artha and kama. So that is what is called as intelligent living. So slowly, so first if we remember the 4 qualities that are required for study: viveka, vairagya, samadhama ityadi. There are 6 qualities which are required, and mumukshutvam, which is the desire to. So first you should have a desire to gain liberation or freedom. Without that, without any desire, you cannot achieve anything. So the basic thing is you need the desire. Then viveka, discrimination. So you build a proper attitude through discrimination. So you understand what is permanent and impermanent. That is what viveka means. Permanent, what is permanent and what is impermanent. So that is the first stage. You build your attitude through karma yoga, proper action. You build that attitude. Then the next step is to give up the action based on the results. So slowly you don't worry about the results. Results will happen. You accept the results as they come. So the mind shifts to a stage where you keep performing your actions. Results will definitely come. You move along. You are not too worried. Whatever results come, you accept them and move further. Then the third stage is where you, having prepared your mind, the next step is to gain the knowledge which will free you from all your papa and punya. So that happens only through knowledge. So no amount of karma yoga is going to directly give you moksha. Prepare your mind through karma yoga, and when the mind is ready, understand about yourself through jnana yoga. So this is what we call as inner growth. The inner growth is nothing but focusing more on dharma and moksha, reducing your involvement in artha and kama. Proceeding to, having prepared the mind, proceed towards the next level through jnana yoga, and you reach a stage where as long as you live, you are in a complete state of happiness. Nothing disturbs you. Enjoy that state. Once you gain that jnana, you reach a stage where you enjoy. Whatever happens around you, you enjoy that. You look at everything as a game going on. You are only a witness to the game. Enjoy. And once your karma, present karma, gets exhausted, your prarabdha karma gets exhausted, you leave the body and you gain what is called as videha mukti. Videha Mukti is where you merge with the total. So you don't come back again and go through all the same things all over again in different forms, whether it's a human being or depending on the karma, any other being also. So once you gain that jnana, enjoy it as long as the body is there, and once the body drops off, which it will at a particular, once all your karma exhausted, present karma, because already through jnana all past and future karmas are also removed, but the present karma has to be exhausted. So once that is exhausted, the body will drop off and the person merges, or you need not even say merge, you just become one with the total. So that state is called as mukti, videha mukti. So this is what is the goal. So inner growth is related to that, how we shift our focus from the material growth to the growth of our dharma, and karma, through karma yoga move towards that goal and attain that in this life. Because here and now we have a chance. You don't know when you are going to get a chance again and again, when we come back, in what form, again even in a human form, what kind of situations, what kind of problems we go through. But definitely whatever progress you make now will definitely be carried over to the next janma, which Krishna will explain in further chapters. He is going to talk about that also, because Arjuna he has a doubt about that, so he will clarify again. But through karma yoga, gain mental clarity, remove all the impurities of the mind, and then through jnana yoga gain mukti. So this is what is the goal. So we should be very clear about the goal, and we should also build up those qualities like viveka, vairagya and all. Those can also be, as we grow, we can, so that is also inner growth, how we improve our viveka and vairagya and the 6 qualities which are required. But everything starts with the desire. So first, the desire should lead us to all these things. If somebody doesn't have a desire for these things, then they will continue to come and go. So we will continue in the next class.